arts, music, movies so far. In celebrating Nigeria at 55, let's look at the arts. Beginning from the Nigerian independence 1960, which is 55 years ago, the contemporary art of Nigeria continued to grow, striving to be more and more relevant to the people who now use it as a potential instrument of change. The Nigerian government, the elites, and the ordinary people appreciate it as a means of passing on folklore, culture, and values, creating identity, effective cultural diplomacy, a source of renewable wealth, a potent tool for creating awareness and the development of communities. Artists are respected and the profession is now considered a worthy one. Therefore, contemporary Nigerian art has moved from hobby to big business and from being provincial to world class. However, there are still many things to be fixed in order to reap the greatest benefit derivable from art. A few very serious collectors all over the world have emerged and have done the nation good by buying and retaining good art pieces which should have found their way out of the country. In the Lagos axis, names like Sam Olagbaju, Yemisi Shilon, Apostle John Edokpolo, and Chief Odimayo have now become household and are responsible for the leap in the development. However, the country lacks art collection policy and good infrastructure. Many of our best works are allowed to leave the country. Corporate bodies and individuals are not given the tax incentives to enable them buy and donate pieces to galleries and museums. Artist groups, particularly the Society of Nigerian Artists, otherwise known as SNA, which have membership in almost every state of the Federation, is not given adequate subvention to enable it function properly in the country, as well as participate in programs of International Art Association, otherwise known as IAA. With these and more gaps filled, Nigerian contemporary art in this first part of the 21st century will help the country to attain greater heights. How about music? The Dan. And the Now.
That's potential, human capacity, let's walk the walk, let's show the world, say our head, yeah.
Yet, it can scarcely be projected if the root is not understood. The music of Nigeria includes many kinds of folk and popular music, some of which are known worldwide. Styles of folk music are related to the multitudes of ethnic groups in the country, each with their own techniques, instruments, and songs. Little is known about the country's music history prior to European contact, although bronze carvings dating back to the 16th and 17th centuries have been found depicting musicians and their instruments. Work songs are a common type of traditional Nigerian music. They help to keep the rhythm of workers in fields, river canoes, and other fields. Women use complex rhythms in housekeeping tasks, such as pounding yams to highly ornamented music. In the northern regions, farmers work together on each other's farms, and the host is expected to supply musicians for his neighbors. The issue of musical composition is also highly variable. In many parts of Nigeria, musicians are allowed to say things in their lyrics that would otherwise be perceived as offensive. However, music is still a tool used to preach unity, love, and peace in Nigeria, yet lacks proper structure that could aid the industry becoming stronger and of national economic value. Well, we hope its essence will be valued and valued in future. Now, let's look at the movie industry. The cinema of Nigeria, often referred to as Nollywood, consists of films produced in Nigeria. Its history dates back to as early as the late 19th century and into the colonial era in early 1900s. The history and development of the Nigerian motion picture industry is sometimes generally classified in four main areas: the colonial era, golden age, video film era, and the emerging new Nigerian cinema. Film as a medium first arrived in Nigeria in the late 19th century in the form of peephole viewing of motion picture devices. These were soon replaced in early 20th century with improved motion picture exhibition devices, with the first set of films screened at the Glover Memorial Hall in Lagos from 12th to 22nd August 1903. The earliest film feature made in Nigeria is the 1926 Balava, produced by Geoffrey Brakas. The film was also the first film ever to feature Nigerian actors in a speaking role. After Nigeria's independence in 1960, the cinema business rapidly expanded with new cinema houses being established. As a result, Nigerian content in theaters increased in the late 1960s into the 1970s, especially productions from Western Nigeria, owing to former theater practitioners such as Hubert Ogunde and Moses Olaya transitioning into the big screen. In 1972, the indigenization decree was issued by Yakubu Gowon, which demands the transfer of ownership of about a total of 300 film theaters from their foreign owners to Nigerians, which resulted in more Nigerians playing active roles in the cinema and film. After the decline of the golden era, Nigerian film industry experienced a second major boom in the 1990s, supposedly marked by the release of the direct-to-video film Living in Bondage, which was produced in 1992. The industry peaked in the mid-2000s to become the second largest film industry in the world in terms of the number of annual film productions, placing it ahead of the United States and behind only India. Since mid-2000s, efforts have been made to reborn the film industry into a quality-oriented industry. Nollywood exploded into a booming industry in the late 90s and pushed foreign media off the shelves. It is now an industry marketed all over Africa and the rest of the world. The use of English rather than the local languages expanded the market, and aggressive marketing using to improve the quality of Nigerian film productions. Former President Goodluck Jonathan pledged in 2010 to create a $200 million loan fund to help finance film projects. However, the industry, which is believed to be a bit more structured than any other entertainment sector, is of economic value and has boosted employment rate, although with the eye of becoming better.